It's an intriguing image and an intriguing kind of object. And as it turns out, it's a particularly useful metaphor for describing a number of things. A black box can be used to describe things that happen in science and technology development. So often, in order to understand how something was made, one will employ a kind of a black box methodology. You could think of the mobile phones that you carry around with you as black boxes. You are constantly generating data through them, and that data is constantly being sent somewhere where it's processed and used in ways that you have no control over. So you have control over the input, and you can see or experience some of its output, but you have no idea what actually happens inside the black box. Here in the theater, the black box often can be used to describe a kind of theatrical space, a space where things can happen, things can be revealed, forms of resistance can be mounted, and things can also be disguised, obfuscated. And I suppose in some ways you can think of this play as a kind of a black box, or at least I think for many of us the experience of wrestling with the play and its meaning, its intended meaning, or its intended not meaning, represent a kind of black box, something that is hard to perceive. But this way of thinking about data, measurement, quantification of lived experience is something that I spend a lot of time thinking about in my own work. And so while we were sort of wrestling with this play, trying to understand the experience of the main character, woman, and to try and understand what her experience was, I wondered if data might help us understand something about this character, about this play. And so I set about trying to measure and quantify some aspects of the play. And it's kind of a strange thing to do with a literary work. Words and language and all of the rich cultural material that comes with it doesn't take well to being measured and quantified in simple ways. And so, you can do a word count. You can count how many times, a particular word is used, but that doesn't reveal anything. And so what I was interested in was trying to figure out what kinds of things you could actually measure and quantify in this play that might reveal something. So on the screen behind me, you'll see a number of things. Across the top, you'll see two Chinese characters. The one on the left is the Chinese character for birth. The one on the right is the Chinese character for death. And the transition between them depicts the individual brushstrokes that one would need to produce in order to create one character or the other. The second row of information is my attempt at using data and statistics to understand something about this woman's attention. So where is her attention? What is her cognitive state? And as it turns out, her attentive state is constantly vacillating. At the center is the present. She spends some time experiencing the present moment. But quite a lot of the time, she's either recalling old habits, patterns, or even more into the past, she's recalling very vivid memories. But then her mind also flits across to the future. First to predictions about future behaviors, future patterns, and then in a more extreme sense, future scenarios, scenes that she imagines will happen. And so what you see behind you is an infographic representation of her attentive state throughout the play, from birth to death. Birth to death. And so I was thinking about this, in part because I wanted to also see if I quantified all of the different sounds that happened in the play, and then placed those in juxtaposition with her attentive state, might it reveal something about the relationship between her attentive state and the sound of the sonic world that she's inhabiting. But in the process, there was one particular moment in the play, a moment towards the very end, where the stage directions describe the sound of an alms bowl being struck repeatedly. In Buddhist practice, an alms bowl is one of the few possessions that a Buddhist monk will carry with them. And it's a bowl, and its purpose is as a place for people to donate either food or money or other things. And so I was thinking about this alms bowl, and I was thinking about her constantly fluctuating attentive state. And then I tried to understand something about what's inside this black box that is woman and her fragile cognitive state. And what I arrived at was I think she really needs some kind of a singing bowl or a sound to focus her attentive state, to focus her mind and to aid her in the final moments of her life. Now, the other thing that I was interested in was this notion of translation. So at the very beginning of tonight, we talked a little bit about how the playwright had originally written the play in French, then translated it into Mandarin, and since then it's been translated into English and several other languages. But I was interested in translating the Chinese characters somehow through data into sound, and to wonder what that might sound like. So what you're hearing, this cricket-like harmonic sound, is actually the location in the Chinese character where you see the red line. This is just a translation where the pixels in the image are mapped to frequency or pitch. And so, if one wants to explore the play and these two characters through sound, one simply has to move the slider. So what I ended up creating was this, I guess you could call it a dashboard, that contains information about the character's attentive state from the beginning of the play to the end of the play, and the sonic world that she's constantly tuning into and out of. And if you play through the play text from beginning to end, you can also hear it, and it sounds something like this. And what I liked was it has a kind of mysterious vocal quality. And so this really isn't a performance. I think this is more of a dramaturgical tool that performers could use, and indeed a director could use, or someone who wants to understand something about the play could use. Now, to make it performative, I thought I would expand the context of births and deaths. And there are a number of websites where you can see a real-time counter that's constantly reporting the current number of births and the current number of deaths globally in real time. And so I thought one way you could perform this work would be to let those statistics determine where we are in the play, sonically and quantitatively. It's a bit like a sort of globalized tennis match. With each birth, the slider gravitates towards the left. With each death, it's pulled towards the right. Thank you.